Operations Manager. The launch team wishes you good luck and Godspeed.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, and welcome to Date Night, where you
Hello?
are the stars.
Hello?
Oh, this is like a horror game now. Welcome back to Date Night. About 20 minutes ago, the entire world just imploded on me, and so we're back.
We're in an alternate world line.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello and welcome back to Date Stawa Night.
That's the difference between our
Date Stawa Night. Yeah, there you go. You can't really hear it when I say it, because I already kind of talk like that.
I'm Ferris Nyan Nyan, and welcome to Date Night.
Oh, I love her! Oh my god! Spoilers for the VMBC! Ferris is my favorite character!
But said in the way that they'd introduced Jackass. Alright, anyways.
Oh god.
Let's read our horoscopes again. I think it's very important that we get these in the VOD.
Okay, hold on. Let me scroll back up.
No problem.
Alright. Alright, it's the week of, it's 8/14. So here's the week of August 12th in Pisces. A table set with the prettiest of drinks. Who else is there, you will ask the air. Then many people will answer. It's a party! Mario Party! Also, this is the, like, horoscope equivalent of that, like, meme tweet that's like, if anybody's gotta admit they have a crush on me, do it now. Also, don't do that! Thanks!
Oh, it's always a party with Date Night. And in the week of 8/12 in Capricorn. What does it take to show your love? Red lights and yellow lights. What does it take to prove your friendship? At this point, nothing. And, you know, you've been getting a lot of friendship ones lately, some really, like, good, positive ones, and I feel like we really need to teach Yo what the difference between friendship and romantic attraction is, because he doesn't have any fucking clue. Everyone is either a romantic prospect or a rival, and that's just not appropriate.
It's not, and all the bad stuff that has happened to him in his life does not excuse his inappropriate behavior. It merely explains it. It's not an excuse.
And so,
what else did we say before? In the other world line? I think that was it.
I think that was basically everything. But now it's time for lunch. Oh, it seems like the friends are breaking apart a little. Maybe it's because all three of them are trying to confess to us.
This is rough!
Everyone's been acting weird. I don't know why. Well, let's do what I always do when I have a rough time at school. Go to the library.
Yeah, we'll go make fun of some people's essays.
Hey. I'm over that part of my life.
This is my book report on the Scarlet Letter.
The Scarlet Letter is a missive that's sent from the 1800s.
Oh my god. Do you remember, like, the subject of some of the bad essays you would read? Like, what would they be about? Would they be book reports? Would they be, like...
They were all
would
book
they be,
reports.
like, those research papers you would have to do in high school in, like, MLA format?
They were all English papers that were, like, theme analysis of books.
Also, I, like... remembering MLA format is, like, fucking wild to me because I have had an entire scientific career since then where all of our citations are in APA, and I have to do a bazillion million citations all the time for everything and, like, format them in LaTeX and, like, the whole 9 yards. And,
is that how
like,
it's pronounced?
remembering... Yes, it is pronounced LaTeX, not LaTeX.
Okay, because everyone I knew said latex.
It's not latex. It is the Greek letter chi, and it is pronounced LaTeX.
Okay.
If you don't know what we're talking about, good. Never learn.
It's like some nerd shit.
You know before Microsoft Word? You know before Notepad?
It's like
you know how people had to do stuff? When you wanted to write a document, you had to compile some code. And that sucks. And people still do that on purpose.
It's like if every time you wanted to open up Microsoft Word, you had to code it yourself.
Yeah, and people are still like, no, but it's so beautiful. Fuck off. God damn hipsters.
I mean, it does, like, look nice, I guess, but, like...
A lot of things look nice.
It looks like a textbook.
Because all textbooks had to be compiled in LaTeX until a certain point in history.
And I think they probably still are.
Yeah, it's... No, there's no excuse for LaTeX. I've used it a lot, and there is no excuse. But also, it's way easier now because you can just go to a website. It's called, like, Overleaf or something like that, and it does LaTeX for you, and you just, like, write in a Microsoft Word style, and it, like, makes the LaTeX for you, and it has a bunch of templates, so, like, no one will ever have to know the pain of, like, raw LaTeX editing.
Thank God.
Beamsplash points out that LaTeX is making me swear all the cusses, and it's 100% true. Like, editing stuff in Microsoft Word sucks because it's really inconsistent and the formatting could just fuck up on a moment's notice, but editing in LaTeX is like casting a spell.
The electrical engineers I knew all were required to, like, learn.
Oh, yeah, no, I was required. I was required. Yeah, absolutely. In computer science, we had all of our publications had to be formatted in LaTeX. It's very recent that that is not a requirement. People who make graphs in LaTeX, they're, like, I don't know, like, probably the same people who, like, recreate historical monuments in Minecraft.
I was just gonna say that you stopped speaking at the same time the music cut, and I swear to God,
oh no, you thought you were dead.
Because I thought I died.
Oh no. Anyway, sorry I've gone off on this tangent about LaTeX for some reason.
No, it's fine. Let's talk about this boy.
Really takes me back.
He's like a real artistic sort of
Kanata
hobby.
confirmed bi. I said he was bi. He's obviously bi. He said he admits that Yo is very photogenic.
Right. Also, I liked earlier, she was like, wait a minute, that's me! Like, this weird sort of, like, object impermanence sort of thing. Like, oh, that's me! That's what I look like!
Yeah, a lot of this game takes me back to my college days, which is probably why I was reminiscing about LaTeX. You know, back when I was in college, surrounded by a bunch of dudes. The only woman in the room.
Him talking about this has, like, a weird kind of spin to it that makes it a little sad, given that he's, like, got a chronic condition.
Yeah, like he's like worried about like preserving things because he's worried he's gonna die young.
Yeah.
And we don't know that much about his condition, so like because it's sort of obscured, like we don't know if that is what that's supposed to mean or what, because we don't even know what he has.
Don't tell them they're important to me. I don't want them getting an ego, especially Yo. Oh, weird. Ooh. But he never plays up his affection in the same way the other two do.
Yeah, it's much more like he's much more tsundere.
Yeah, he's almost like a real person.
Yeah, almost. Really, that's why we
I mean,
like
certainly
him
in
best.
comparison to the other two. Plus, it's always good to be supportive to a significant other in their hobbies. I mean, as long as they're not destructive. Like, if Kanata was really into, I don't know, gambling all of his tuition on, like, horse races, maybe we wouldn't be so kind to him.
This is flirting.
Oh, absolutely.
We've found it. The whole, like, you don't know you're beautiful, that's what I like about you trope is so bizarre. But it's also, like, the whole idea of, like, not understanding that you're attractive is also, like, extremely teenage girl. Like, having, like, regardless of how many people tell you one way or the other, like, you're still like, I have no metric for this. I have really low self-esteem. I don't know what's true. So it all gets kind of mixed up together. Can you imagine falling for a childhood friend? Like, I have childhood friends, and they're like my brothers. I would never date them. They're gross. Like, I love them, but they're gross.
You know, at this point, I'm trying to think of the first time I think I had, like, a female friend would have been well into grade school, so I don't really have, like, a childhood friend that would fit in this scenario. Also, I don't keep in contact with anyone anymore, so... But I feel like that would be weird, right? Like, I can't imagine myself in this scenario with any of my grade school friends where it would have been like, oh yeah, this would have lasted forever.
Yeah, me and my brother were friends with two brothers and we've been friends since, like, we were, like, 9 or 10 years old. Or since I was 9 or 10 years old, which is, like, they were, like, 6 or 7 years old. And, we've, like, our parents are friends, our family is still all friends with each other and stuff like that. And, like, both of them are a goddamn mess. Like, I wish the best for them, but that's not date material. And they had my influence growing up, and they're still not dateable.
So they
had a good example, and they did this with their, you know, they clean your apartment, Andy.
So this is kind of where we ended the first time, and the situation is that Kanata has been looking sick. He's apparently been fighting a lot more, and now he's disappeared.
Jesus.
So, you know, a lot of bad things all at once.
Sid in the chat points out, if you did marry them, then you'd have to include in your vows, remember when you declared you were the fart master for 3 whole years, kiss me.
That's in my vows, yeah.
I mean, I could see that.
I feel like that's the sort of thing you save for the best man speech, right? Like,
yeah.
Remember the time that you called yourself the fart master for 3 years? Then you remember the time we found that alien and we fed it Reese's Pieces in the bathtub and we had to run from the cops? All of my stories would just be like, you remember the Dolo throwdown? And I'm like, please don't remind me.
That's a your future wedding when Jay is giving the best man speech.
That's like the
like,
deep dark secret I keep
surprise!
from my significant other.
Surprise! Let me tell you about the throwdown. And he like there's like a projector, and he like shows the footage, and then you look around, and all the catering has been replaced with Doritos Locos Tacos.
Like cut into the cake, it turns out it's just Doritos Locos Tacos with fondant.
Yeah,
over them.
Doritos are just spilling out of the cake.
Yikes.
Oh man. The nightmare scenario.
Right?
And you're like, oh, thank goodness that my tux and my spouse's outfit are already the color of Doritos nacho cheese.
Right, because I specifically requested this.
Right. So it won't stain. Cubase says, not another Taco Bell wedding. I know, right? Like, it's not even funny anymore because Dan Riker got married at Taco Bell.
Oh, uh-oh. Ugh.
Oh, are they here to fight?
Oh, is this the boy again? Oh my god, give
this is
up!
Fucked up.
I
Throw
guess
him off
like,
the roof.
like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
This is a real, like, if there were even a single other girl at school, this guy would have his, like, ass whooped 7 ways already.
Yeah.
This is a very, like, this only gets to happen in this very odd scenario. Where there are just no other options for these boys, and so they're, like, weird about it. Oh, it's a Buddy Vashel in the chat, yeah. So, catching up. We're the only girl for 2 years at this school.
Yeah, we're the only girl at this all-boys astrology school, which is just...
Ugh, I hate that he has friends. Oh man, do we get a choice to fight? I mean, I know we don't, but...
I know, right?
Oh man!
Oh, it's
a Persona
Cam's
fight's
theme.
about to start.
It really is! Oh my god! It's 1000% Persona music.
It's gonna turn out this boy's like a shadow. Damn! God, Kanata really is the best boyfriend. None of the other two would fight for... Well, maybe Yo would. Yo was holding his own alright against Kanata.
I feel like Yo would challenge them to a duel, you know? He would challenge them to a
He'd
shadow
pull out the
game.
glove.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone's gonna get thrown off this roof. Oh. Well, I assume we don't leave him.
Yeah, I feel like in this situation, that would be...
It would be wrong to leave him, like...
Yeah, someone, like... God, don't you have a phone?
Please tell me we join him in the fight. That's all I want.
I know! Team
that
up for
one
ultimate
piece
battle.
of agency.
scream! Scream at the top of your lungs!
There we are behind him, as you can see.
Oh yeah, there's us. We're here.
I'm glad they designed this girl's uniform
Look
for just
at
us.
the faces in this shot. Like, we've got Kanata's face, which is ridiculous.
This is
and then
so
half
good.
of this other guy's face, which is also ridiculous.
Oh, he's got the saggy pants. Look, you can see his underwear.
Wow, rude.
Then you can
Is
see an
that the
open jacket
upperclassman?
here on one side.
Yeah,
This side,
which
there's
one do you
someone with
think
longer
is the confession boy? Is it the red-haired one, you think?
I think it's the redhead.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's the one he's most likely to go to. Also, is that a Tamagotchi on his necklace?
It's a power stone.
Okay. Both good answers.
That's not... That's not the line.
I'll show you how cool I am. Damn.
Is he saying he's hotter than him? That's great.
That rules.
I want to date a guy that knocks down other potential suitors simply by saying he's hotter than they are.
God.
As in, like, God, what a fantasy.
So it's a real, like, don't hate me because I'm beautiful, hate me because your girlfriend thinks I'm beautiful sort of situation. Oh, geez, those were some real meaty.
Yeah.
Oh, he's punching. I thought he just, like,
Punch
immediately
dot
got
wave.
stomped.
Punch 2.wave. Punch! Fight! Girl! Girl, it's time to fight!
Pick up a bench, do some Yakuza moves.
Yeah, rip a piece of wood off that bench. Grab a tree branch.
Groupies. To be fair, I probably referred to friends of mine as groupies more than once. Wow.
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
Oh man, okay, I want a CG where they're like standing back to back now, and
Yeah.
they finally like accept
This
each other.
is a good moment. This is a good moment.
I'm the mediator for this fight now.
No, he's just here to, like, stab them. Like, you know, like, because when this guy snaps, he fucking snaps. Right?
Right.
Like, it's 0 and then it's 100. There's no gradient. There's no anything. It's like,
He's gonna take off his
them
belt. Yeah,
and
just
their
like...
entire family.
Suzuki like breaks his wrist, like snapping it.
Oh my god. No, that's Yo. Yo, like, goes to punch really hard and then just breaks his hand. I feel like Suzuya, like, can't fight, but then, like, once you knock him over, he's like, oh, you're already poisoned, though. Like, I poisoned you earlier today. And then you fall over.
I snuck it into your onigiri, specifically.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Fefnir in the chat points out there's that, like, chart going around by whether or not a character would stab you. And notes that Suzuya would stab as a warning.
This is why it's important to punch bigots in real life, too.
It's true. You know, if there's one thing you take away from this game, well, first, it should be don't act like Yo does when talking to us. And second, punch bigots. Like, if they don't get it the first time, just, you know, you gotta take matters into your own hands.
Also, since Suzuya is obviously we have food at home.
Yeah, he's, again, they keep talking about how he's the mom of the group. He's very food at home.
We have food at home.
Yo is order one black coffee and Kanata's McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. It's literally not your fault. It's this other man's fault. Like, I guess she's the catalyst, but it is not her fault.
No. Ew. Every game fucking does this. They threaten the protagonist with sexual assault. She gets saved, and then she's like, I'm sorry, this is all my fault. It happened with Kyle Tengu!
Ugh.
Like, at least, like, if you want the fantasy of, like, oh, I was threatened and this guy saved me, like, at least at the end have them say it wasn't your fault.
Right. I feel like, I feel like none of them are saying it's her fault, right? They all recognize this guy's a
Yeah, but they don't
freak.
explicitly say,
yeah, that's
like,
the issue.
This is not
I wish
your
they
fault.
would.
This is those assholes' fault. Yeah. Which, if something like this happened to me, that's what I would want someone to tell me.
Right.
Never forget Kyle Tengu.
Look at Yo's response to this. It's like the most like unable to look inward sort of response. Like,
yeah, it's very pot calling the kettle black.
But this is like, I don't know, this is probably the nicest thing he's done so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
And,
he
like,
was also helping Kanata.
Yeah, and this doesn't even have to be like, oh, I did it because I love you. It's like, if you saw anyone in this situation, you'd fucking defend them. Like... And then they buy her a taser for her birthday.
Right?
I knew someone in high school who had a taser.
I mean, I believe it.
She also came from a family of cops, so I'm honestly not surprised. I'm obviously surprised she didn't get it sooner.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from Texas, so, like, people in high school had guns and knives and shit. Just, like, casually. I mean, not at school. Sometimes it's
right.
Not at school.
Right. The high school next to mine had metal detectors going in to specifically get around that, but the bodyguards at the all-girls school that my friends went to were more concerned with the boys possibly coming in than if one of the girls had a taser in her purse.
That's it's a lot. Also, what we would do, like, the common understanding of what other kids at my high school would do to, like, bring in weapons, like knives and stuff, is that they would just throw them over the metal detector.
See, and if you really want to hide it, you just pretend you're playing Mumbly Peg with someone else across the way from the metal detector.
We didn't have, like, a huge problem with weapons. The middle school had a problem with weapons. The high school really didn't.
What is it?
I'm not making this up. The guards at the middle school were armed, and at the high school they just had batons. But obviously at my high school it was just a big drug problem. One of the kids I went to high school with, the year after we graduated and he started college at a nearby college in Houston, he got busted for having over $1 million worth of acid in his apartment. And I remember being like, what 19-year-old has $1 million of anything?
Right, like... Besides, like, regrets.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you don't even have 1 million subscribers on your YouTube channel.
Right. I can't even imagine $1 million.
Anyway, isn't it fucked up? Like, high school? Isn't it amazing that we survived?
No, I was in band, and we were like, you know, ride together, die together, kinda, so.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's
Somehow the band kids were cool at my school, like, we would hang out with the football guys all the time.
Yeah,
so.
no, my brother was a drum major, so, like, I know, like, he was very cool, everybody knew him.
Whoa, what happened in this? What happened in this? Did someone show up, actually?
It's all the old textbooks and stuff like that are falling apart, and they don't have storage for it or something.
Okay.
Like,
I was gonna say, did
somebody
the
got
doctor
laid
finally
off.
come in? This is actually just them prepping in case Kanata needs to stay there any longer. Like, here are all your textbooks. This might not be something you know. How much is $1 million worth of acid?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It was apparently on Altoids, so it like I really want to imagine like a room full of Altoids boxes, right? But it's probably not. It's probably like a very reasonable amount of Altoids boxes.
The closest I've ever been to a drug is at one point in high school during mass. All of the facility would bring in drug dogs to like check everyone's stuff while they were in mass, and someone
that is the most fucking Catholic school ass thing I've ever heard in my life.
I think someone found 3 whole dime bags of weed once.
Oh my god. That is a lot.
And 2 of those people were expelled, and the other one was donating to the school a lot, so they got off of the slap.
Oh my god!
Hey, that's life.
Wow. Your high school really was an anime. My high school was public school, so...
Less anime.
It was a little rougher. There was a lot of drugs, but I was not in the circles of the people that knew about the drugs. There was like the rich kids and the parties that they had, and like I grew up like my parents and our house was in the rich subdivision, but I still wasn't cool enough to be invited to those parties, even though they were in our subdivision.
My school, they had it set up that like you had like juniors and seniors who would kind of look over you for your first year, make sure you're doing okay, staying up to date with school and stuff. And so like I heard word of like the crazy parties they went to, but I was never part of them.
No, I just stayed home, drew comics all the time about the Vampire Chronicles, and
I mean, what else would you do it on?
That's literally all I ever did in high school. Didn't talk to anybody. No, I had friends. I had a core group of friends that I'm still friends with, some of them. But like that was what I spent all my time doing, was drawing comics about the Vampire Chronicles and not showing them to anybody because I didn't have a good enough internet to be part of the online fandom yet.
Right. Me in high school.
I was like the weird art girl, and I was also kind of like a pity project. Like every once in a while someone would like try to befriend me, like, hey, weird girl, what if we gave you a makeover? And I was like, I'm doing this on purpose, like I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, like that's fine, I don't want that. I was probably pretty insufferable when I was in high school.
Weren't we all?
I definitely did that nerd shit where I like low-key thought I was better than everyone.
Oh, sure.
And like that didn't really go away until I was in college and challenged for the first time in school. I don't know. Every time I see my friends from high school, who I've known almost my entire life, like since we were 5 years old, I'm like, how did you put up with me ever? But they're, you know, they're annoying in their own ways too. So,
Right.
like, I get
You learn to
it.
accept it.
Did I ever tell you the story about how the time that the other girls in academic decathlon tried to give me a makeover and set me up on a date?
No.
Well, I feel like just that sentence alone tells you a lot.
It does. You're part of the academic decathlon?
Yeah, I was in academic. I was 8th in the state of Texas. Still got all my medals. By the way, those like medals that you get in school, like the kind that hang around your neck that are just like some painted, like gold painted stuff. After a while, those like they get blue stuff on them, and it's not patina, but it's like the same, I think, kind of process. But it just looks like someone chewed gum and like stuck it on the metal. And that's what all my medals look like now, and I don't know what to do about it.
And we're running into the issue we talked about before, where Kanata is feeling really belittled by everyone's, I guess, like, overexcitement about his condition.
Yeah, because they don't know. They don't even know what they can't even name what his condition is.
Right.
So even if he's in a bad spot, like they don't understand. So he doesn't want them to help him.
Kanata, 言い過ぎだよ。鈴谷は。ごめん。悪かったよ。もう何も言わない。畜生。
Like, to a point, they're right to worry, but it's definitely, like... Especially with as much as Suzuki was doing as, like, not trusting him to know his own body.
Yeah, that's not the way to talk about it. It's also kind of weird because they have known each other for so long. Like, I don't know. Like, my brother was like this too. Like, none of his childhood friends really... Like, he had irritable bowel, and it was just really obvious. Like, if somebody has irritable bowel, like, you know about it because they have a lot of restrictions over what they eat, and they, you know, have these episodes where they have to go to the bathroom for a long time. And, like, none of his high school friends knew how any of that worked. He really kept it away from them completely, even people he had known for a very long time, so... With the people, like, immediately around me, I've always been a lot more proactive about diabetes, but that's because if somebody doesn't know how to handle an emergency situation, then I could actually die. Versus stuff, I think, that can't kill you, then it's like, I don't want to talk about it at all. I would rather suffer and, like, call 911 myself than deal with somebody else, like, knowing about it and having to, and, like, wanting to play doctor or whatever, because you never know how people are going to react.
Yeah. Some people have like 0% cool as soon as anything goes wrong, and so if they don't know what to do, they could possibly make it worse.
I've had people be like, I can't deal with blood, or like I can't deal with like giving a administering a glucagon shot or whatever, and I have stopped being around those people because that's how they answered that question. Like, I'm talking about the shot that you might have to give me to keep me alive, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I could do that because it's gross. Fuck you. Bye. Oh, so they're fighting now?
Well, I mean, Suzuya was the instigator in this whole thing. Or I guess he's the one that set him off, so it's probably just a case of them needing to cool their heads.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I wonder what we choose here.
I mean, we gotta talk to Kanata because he's the one. I mean, he's the boy we
Yeah.
like, but also like, I think that's the right person to talk to, because it's about him and like, you know, we want to also figure out what's going on with him and maybe get him to kind of open up a little bit and admit that he's having difficulties right now without being unnecessarily paternalistic.
Yeah, and I feel like the other two, it's like you don't really accomplish anything by talking to them about this. Like, as important as they are to have in the discussion about how to treat Kanata and how he feels about everything, you know, we got to start at the source.
よくわかったな。俺がここにいんの。
Ooh, pretty sky.
Yeah, I think we've only seen it usually during day or pitch black, so it's nice to see it at sunset.
そっか。鈴谷じゃなくてよかった。
Every time we talk about Kanata's chronic condition, I really just want to meet his mom.
大丈夫だ、鈴谷。後悔してる。鈴谷は俺のことを心配してくれてるから、ああいう風に言うんだって分かってるのに。つい八つ当たりしちまった。あいつの言う通り、実はあんま調子よくなかったんだよ。だけどそれ言って、またお前たちに心配かけるの嫌だったんだ。だよな。鈴谷はきっと許してくれる。でも素直に言えねえ。心配されると本当に病人になった気がして、それ実感しそうで言えね
Yeah, that's the mood.
え。なんてな。心配すんな。ちゃんと謝るよ。ずーっと気まずいままも嫌だしな。幼なじみなんだ。喧嘩の一つもするだろ。だから今、一人にしてくれないか。
A big part of dealing with a chronic condition that I'm kind of surprised is represented like this in this game is this denial and grief and like grieving the person that you thought you would be versus where you are, like with the limitations that you have, and like accepting that those limitations are going to be a fundamental part of your life and there's nothing that you can do about it. You're grieving your loss of control. And that is especially difficult for young men to deal with. I know, at least in diabetes, a lot of young men push themselves unnecessarily, or have, you know, are like, no, I'm gonna eat a whole cake anyway, and stuff like that, and like,
right.
You know, you have like a rebellious phase. You know, folks go off and are like, no, I'm not sick, and our society puts a lot of pressure on disabled people to be able passing and to say like, well, I'm not really sick though. Like, I mean, I didn't really start saying like, hey, I'm diabetic, and also, hey, I'm a disabled person, until I was like 25. Oh boy.
It looks like we'll solve everything at camp.
Hora, 俺についてくれば大丈夫だ。お前に何かあったら、俺が絶対守ってやるから。怖いことなんてあるか。 心配すんな。それに俺がいるだろ。
No.
I got lost on a trip once.
It's so scary.
I was lost at a campsite for, I don't know, probably like an hour, hour and a half. That was exciting.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But it could have been less time, but when you're a child, it feels like it's a million years, like, all the time.
I was like, oh, I'm just gonna die here, huh?
Yeah, like, it could have literally been, like, 5 minutes, and you would have been like, it was 3 years! Because that's how child memories are.
Mm-hmm.
だから泣くな。俺についてこい。当たり前だろ。
Oh wow, we were just talking about this.
二人ともどこにいるんだ。すずやー。あれたち。
Rob Beanspots in the chat notes that they took a wrong turn at an optional cross-country event, ended up doing a big loop, during the course of which they were reported missing. Wow.
Oh, Sid.
すずやー。かなたどうしたんだよ。こいつは泣いてないのに泣き虫だな。そうなの？だって俺まで泣いたらこいつがもっと不安になるだろ。だからそっか、わかったわかった。もう大丈夫だよ。二人とも怖かったよね。さあ、みんなのところに行こう。
I hope this doesn't happen on our new high school camp. Oh no, we get lost again. I feel like camping is the easiest way to get lost too, because you're like gonna be in unfamiliar territory.
I've never been camping. I mean, I guess I kind of have as a child on my own property, but
sure.
I have never been real camping. At this point, I would have to go in like an RV and you know, with a refrigerator.
Mm-hmm. I went a couple times, but you know what the problem with outside is? A lot of dirt. I don't like that.
Being outside sucks is the main problem with camping. Like, doing stuff outside is fun, but being outside, like, it sucks.
Yeah, the first step is actually just leaving, at which point it's like, oh, well, you've succeeded, but do you want to? Like...
Yeah.
When you were in college, did you ever get, like, weird courses? Like, real niche sort of courses that seemed to exist to, like, fill up certain requirements for your, like, prereqs?
Wait a minute. Weren't we both computer science? We didn't have enough room in our degree plans for that shit.
No, I'm saying, did you ever
3
see
free
courses
classes.
like that?
Oh, see them. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Because the first
I feel like they're always like in like literature or something like that.
The first year of college for me, in my dorm, which also had classrooms in it, there was a Science of Star Trek class that was only held for that one semester. But seemed like one of those things where it's like, this is how to get rid of the fact that you need to have like a science credit.
Oh my god, that's a lot. Oh, but I do remember one now that my friend and her then boyfriend they're married now. But they took a wine tasting class.
I shouldn't laugh, but it's good.
I remember them telling me about that, and like he was like really like I really scammed the system on that one with the wine tasting class. He's a lawyer now, so you know. I think he deserved it.
The only time I really like scammed a system is in my 2 Eastern religious courses, because I had to take a religion class for college, in which I got to, in each of them, write a paper or do a presentation that involved religious figures in anime.
Oh my god! So you just did a presentation on Saint Young Men?
I did in fact talk about Saint Young Men. I talked about the anime adaptation of that Otome game where you date various gods from different mythologies.
Oh my god.
Oh, there was a third thing I can't think of it. Someone did one specific on Evangelion. Separately.
That sounds super fun though. Like
yeah.
I feel like in a class where like everybody's kind of on the same page about it, that would be really fun.
Yeah, so and everyone has fun. Like Saint Young Men is like funny even if you don't like get anime, right? Like
yeah, for sure.
So that worked out great. I also learned in that class that the classic movie Teeth is based on a Native American like folklore story.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that particular type of folklore in various incarnations, various ideas.
Yes, that's how I scammed the system. Oh, and I got out of doing a final by writing a song and entering a contest instead. I don't remember if I've talked about that before.
What? That's cool as hell. Was it like a real song or like a comedy song?
So okay, so it was like Intro to Engineering 101 or whatever the fuck. It's just like all engineers had to take it. It was sort of like a base overview of all of the different schools of engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, oh, in case you're not sure what you want to do, but you know you kind of want to do this. These are the options. And so it was, you could take a final, you could enter like a bridge building competition using this bridge building software, which is a real civil sort of thing. Or the option was, at the time, there was like a songwriting contest from the EEC or something like that, like the general engineering like community kind of thing. And so I entered that and won.
Oh my god, what was
it's
your
like
song?
A real song. I don't remember it anymore. I don't know. I got a bunch of people to play instruments for me. It was like really ridiculous. I don't know. I think I just talked about how cool engineering is.
Oh my god. That's cool. I didn't ever do anything that like cool and in college that wasn't like directly related to academics.
Oh man, is Yo gonna be the mediator this time? Yo's really pulling his own weight now.
Yeah, he's really suddenly like changed characters.
God damn. Yeah, he's really like turned from being like a weirdo to like a real supportive friend. And you know what? It's good. It's good.
Yeah. I wish this was his character from the beginning.
Yeah, I wish there was just
like
more of this.
Frustrated and French.
僕は君たちの絆が羨ましいよ。お互いのことを思い合って。今回だ。
To have friends, and he does air quotes.
カナタ。鈴谷は本気でカナタのことを心配してるんだ。それはどうしてだかわかるだろう。なこと。鈴谷だってカナタの気持ちわかってるはずだろ。大切に思われてるのに、それを疎ましいなんて思うやついないよ。
Damn, you're just gonna spell it out?
もういい加減意地張るのやめたら。それに君たちは気を使いすぎる。
I think everyone should just have a big group
I
hug at this point.
like. I just can't believe that Yo is the one saying this to them.
Well, they needed a third character to do it.
Yeah, like it's totally out of character for him.
幼馴染だって言うんなら、もっとフランクなくらいがちょうどいいと思うけど。
You think at this school, since it's all about space, they would have like Science of Gundam courses? That's kind of where I was trying to go with that derail, but it went forever. Here's the science behind Minovsky particles.
Oh my god. I would say the like, I mean, I took like a game development class, which was like a fun experimental class because it had only been offered very recently.
Right,
and
sure.
So it was like, it was a collaboration between the computer science and the visualization departments too. So it was like a joint class, and basically we just got to call out our favorite graphics teacher for an entire semester.
Oh, great.
For being a big old gamer nerd. That was when like because I remember for that class I did we all took turns, like each one of us students taught one of the classes about like a subject of our choice related to gaming, and so I did mine about Farmville because it was the Farmville craze was happening at the time. It was like 2009, 2010, and our professor, who we all loved, him. He was our graphics teacher, and he was like really, really strict and just really, really smart. And in this different, more casual context, he was just like such a huge nerd that we all like loved it. And he was so mad that because he was like, Farmville's not a game. It's not a real game. And so I'm like giving this presentation kind of tongue in cheek as I'm describing this phenomenon and like the business model and stuff like that. And he's sitting there like, it's not a game, like getting mad, putting his feet up into his like rolly chair, like it's not a real game.
This is great.
And I was like, oh my god, like, do you post on something awful too?
Wow.
Anyway, it was fun.
Yeah, I think the teachers that really enjoy what they do and get to kind of share that interest are great.
I think also, like, a lot of, like, the professors that are, like, still in their 30s, like, they're a lot older than you when you're in college, but they're not that much older than you.
Right.
I think is the thing, like people who follow, our, like, my Let's Play stuff now that it's like I'm a lot older than them, but I'm not that much older than them in terms of like being an adult. Mm-hmm. Like I'm a lot older than them in some like very like important like stage of life and experience and self-confidence type things that are really significant. But in terms of like political opinions, we can be in the same place, right? Like so right. That's the sort of part of it of like seeing this professor like be mad about gaming and being like, oh, like we're not the same age, but we're like the same. We're in the same place about that thing.
Yeah. Anyways, get a load of our boys in their gym gear.
These are good. This is all extremely good. Are those other three boys in the background from a different Starry Skies?
I think so. I don't recognize right now who they would be. I'm just gonna look that up real quick.
Buddy Cart says, do you have stairs in your house, Goonsire?
Yikes.
I've actually been murdered. I'm actually dead now. But it's better than the fucking Reddit one, right? Which is like the bacon narwhals at midnight or something.
Wait, what?
Ooh. Ooh. The narwhal bacons. The narwhal bacons at midnight. That's the Reddit one. That's the Reddit version of Do You Have Stairs in Your House?
Yo, I'll say it. That sucks.
It sucks.
Alright, so it looks like those characters are from In Winter.
Oh.
And they are all student council members.
Ooh.
Alright. Let's continue on. Anyways, see, Yo's just like really fitting in now. He feels like he's being a real friend here.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, there's no reason for him to behave this way, but I'm glad that his personality has just been completely altered into being someone who I like more.
He finally got it, right? Like, he finally
finally got it.
Maybe seeing that creepazoid that we were dealing with.
Yeah, maybe really, it kind of shocked him back into reality,
Yeah, snap back to reality. Oh.
And he also, like, he is slowly becoming actual friends with Suzuya and Kanata, and, like, I think probably the act of having real friends, when it seems like he has never had those kind of, like, other male friends, like, it's probably also very good for him.
Yeah, like, this is a good story for Yo where he doesn't get romantically romantically resolved with us.
Yeah.
Where he learns to interact with people.
Yeah, where he, like, makes some genuine friends, and then he's, like, in a much better place. Yeah.
Oh no, he's crying! Look at him.
Aww. Aww. Oh my god!
Wow, look at this face, look at this Yo face!
This face! That's the Yo face right there. That's the one that you should use for the conclusions.
Oh, absolutely! He's like, Nyaron?
Oh my god.
You know, like, nya. Don't worry, I did the thing with my hands.
Oh, good.
Like, you know how it is, I gotta go all in. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Welcome to this unofficial roast.
It's not like I like you or anything. He's tsundere about friendship, but not about romance. God bless.
Wow, powerful.
That's extremely powerful. There are two different people in our chat whose usernames start with Buddy, and I feel like that's like a very date night on brand audience thing.
Uh-huh. Well, that's why for the next stream project we'll learn how to play.
Oh my god, Kanata, you are loved! You finally realized! Oh my god, I'm crying!
Understanding that people worrying about him isn't just like people looking down on him. And the others are learning to respect the distance he needs.
Aww. That's how he is, though. Oh my god, they're having such a moment.
I like that despite the fact that the boys have like the most manga legs in the world, the pants that they're wearing still like fold so much.
Yeah, each pair of pants is like 8 feet long. There's a fabric shortage.
One of my friends who was taking art classes at college where I was would always get back a sheet like about how the pictures were showing up and everything, and every single one up to the end of the semester was see you put the manga legs in again, just like noting how long they are.
Also, in that CG we just saw there was Suzuya, and then there was the guy in the background that had the same hair as Suzuya, and I just realized there were 2 Suzuyas in that picture.
And at that point, I decided that if I ever became a gangster, my name would be Manga Legs Malone.
God.
Anyways, that's my story.
It's good. Alright, I think we're coming up on a breaking point here, because it's
Do we want to do
late.
one more day to see how our boys are handling, understanding how much love there is?
It's 11, so I think it's better to go ahead and wrap it up the evening of the second day of camp.
Okay, well, we'll see.
I also didn't tell my story about how I got set up on a date when I was in academic decathlon, so I'll end with that excellent story.
Sure.
So, I had a crush. So, academic decathlon has 3 teams. It has the A team, the B team, and the C team, and that is related to the students' academic average.
Okay.
So it's like a representation of the actual, like, I don't know, structure of the school, I guess, like the actual demographic of the school, instead of just like the kids whose parents have the most resources.
Right, sure.
So I was on the A team naturally. But I had a crush on a guy who was on the C team, who had been in school with us for a long time, and actually grew up, like, at the time, everybody thought that he was, like, a troublemaker, but he actually wasn't. He actually grew up to go into animation and, like, worked for DreamWorks for a while, and now he, like, anyway, cool guy. But anyway, I had a crush on him at the time. And the two other girls on the A and B teams wanted to help me with that situation, so they invited me and him out to have lunch with them on like a Saturday. And before that, I went over to one of the girls' houses, and they like wanted to give me a makeover, and so they like put makeup on me and. Like, I brought some clothes, and they, like, made an outfit, which I believe was, like, a black button-up with a red shirt under it. Like, I didn't really have super feminine clothes back then. I just remember them trying to tell me how to put on mascara and, like, not knowing how much to put on, and them wanting me to put on, like, way more. And, like, in retrospect, the amount of mascara that I was putting on was the correct amount. They were asking me to put on, like, a lot more, so I looked like I had, like, emo spider eyes. Anyway, so they basically, like, invited him over, and then they were like, oh, well, we'll take 2 cars, and, like, you guys go in one car, and we'll go in this other car, so that we would be together in the car. It was all just very awkward because, again, this was someone who I had gone to school with since I was, like, 5, so it wasn't particularly, like, it was awkward, but it wasn't, like, it was very, like, neutral because, again, like, these are classmates you've had since forever, so it's not, like, super uncomfortable, but it's, like, not one way or the other. And we got to the restaurant, and in, like, classic high school boy style, like, he didn't want to talk. Like, he showed up but didn't talk ever. Like, it's like, why did you show up then? Like, what's going on? And anything that we might have been able to have in common was totally drowned out by the fact that these 2 underclassmen were trying to, like, ask like cutesy questions and stuff like that. So it was like the most excruciating 90 minutes of my life. And then finally we had to leave, and I actually don't have any memory of leaving that restaurant. Like I have no idea like where I went after that or how I got there.
Wow.
Because I didn't go in my car, but I didn't return in his car, so I have absolutely no idea what happened after that in my memory. Anyway, that's my story of being set up on it. So they really wanted to have like their, you know, moment, their like makeover moment like the movies and stuff like that, but it didn't work because no boys wanted to date me.
But now all the anime boys want to date you. And finally, two of three of them have figured out to cool it. They've learned to calm down a little bit.
Yeah. Oh man, and that really puts it into perspective of like what a fucking jar and a half it was to go to college and suddenly be like one of 3 women in a room of 200 students, and then all of them be like, Hi, I'm Alex. Nice to meet you. Like that happens 30 times.
Right, and they're all named Alex.
They're all named Alex.
That's how that sort of thing just goes.
Look, part of being in computer science is dealing with a lot of interchangeable white dudes.
You're not wrong. Oh, you're not wrong.
It's difficult. It's difficult because it's not, I mean, like, it's, like, they're not wrong to be there. Like, this is what they want to do. You know, they're trying. They just happen to also be interchangeable, and all their names are like Alex, Drew. Well, sorry, there's like Andy, Andrew, and like Brian with an A and Brian with an E, and like, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody in my grade was named Drew. That's what I really remember. There were like 10 Drews. There were 10 Andrews, and they all had like different variations.
Oh. Well, this was a good session, even though it was short. We got to share a lot of stories about ourselves. And we got to a good part of the story. I feel like everyone's
We got some good CGs.
Yeah, everyone's kind of learned to accept each other. We got a good, like... I feel like we got, like, a good conclusion to the character arc of the group, you know?
Yeah, I feel a lot better than at the end of the last session where we, like, everything was awkward and bad, and... I mean, I feel like this really... The problem is that, like, there was some character growth, especially on the part of Yo, that, like, didn't feel natural. It just felt like, oh, you're this now. Like, it was very abrupt.
Yeah, like, it definitely had, like... I don't know, it felt like it had its, like, roots in a thing that they were doing, and they just, like, skipped all of the development part of it.
Yeah, and I wonder if, like, that's because if you had been talking to Yo, you would start to see some of that character development, but because we didn't pick him, like, we didn't see it, so it just feels like he suddenly changed, but...
Right.
But I don't know, because Kanata also kind of suddenly changed by opening up about his condition when he hadn't been this whole time, and, like, that wasn't particularly because of a conversation we had.
Yeah, oops. I'll bring it back up real quick while we're still talking about this. Forgot quit.
That's okay. I don't need the screen share.
But yeah, so I just feel like we've hit a good point with the characters finally, where like before it like felt like, oh, we're getting somewhere. I think we finally got to that somewhere.
Yeah, it feels like I'm glad that their friendship is able to handle the fact that they all have a crush on us. That was about to be very depressing, and it got better, so I'm glad. And
like the resolution of, I guess, like the story of, you know, Kanata's illness, like I think has a good conclusion to it. I feel like the characters really grew out of that.
Yeah, I think that was handled well. Yeah, I think that was handled well, and I'm not surprised that Honeybee handled it well. I was a little worried for a minute, but then I remembered this was Honeybee we're talking about. So I'm glad that they handled it well. Have you ever been in a situation where, like, you and your friend had a crush on the same person?
No.
Me either. Sound off in the comments if you... if you've ever been in that situation.
I've been in the situation where, like, I can agree with the other person, like, oh, this person's attractive, but never, like,
right.
to the point where it was, like, a competitive crush sort of thing.
Right, like how everybody in Let's Play wants to date Super Great Friend. We all know that, but we're not in competition.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, yeah, that's just one of the things, right?
Yeah, it's just, everybody knows that. Yeah, that's not even, yeah. So,
yeah,
so everyone knows that. But yeah, I've never, like, been in, like, real life, like, competition like that. Yeah. Like, I've been in situations where somebody was dating a friend of mine, and then they broke up, and then he was like, I want to date you now. But that really wasn't a competition. Right.
Yeah, I can't think of any situation like this, so I can't really relate. But, you know.
Everyone in the chat coming in to also stand Super Great Friend.
I mean, yeah. Like,
look, everybody knows that. Everybody knows it. Look, he's the LPer's LPer.
That's right. He hides behind the face of the killer cake from Illbleed, but we know that underneath there is, in fact, a super great friend.
His heart. It doesn't matter what he looks like because we know his heart.
Right, and it's
cut this out.
Oh, I can't.
Remember when everyone was creepy about Let's Players before, like, face cams were really a thing? And,
right.
And, like,
and they could see what the LPers look like?
Yeah, like, I feel like we're all still kind of that way about Super Great Friend.
Well, yeah, because Super Great Friend is, like, the most mysterious and all. Like, I don't think he reveals the least about himself despite making the most content and, like, talking. I feel like he's just, like, the most mysterious, and that's what makes him still attractive.
Maybe. I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's true that nobody knows anything about him.
Right.
He's said some stuff on streams, but not, like, identifying stuff, obviously, but,
like, I'm not even sure he talks with other people at this point.
I don't know if the mysteriousness is the attractive part.
Sure. It's his voice.
Yeah. Fuck you.
And it's his nonchalant attitude.
Did you see the Valentine's thing that he did?
Oh, the ASMR thing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Did you listen to it? I listened to it more than once. Cut this out.
Oh. Might as well just put it all out on the table now.
This is like the most inside joke in Let's Play that I know, which is that everybody loves Super Great Friend.
Well, it's because it's not a joke.
It's because it's not a joke, yeah. But I feel like it's not something that, like, people know about Let's Players from old SA Let's Players, which is that we all love Super Great Friend.
It's just to edit the ASMR in.
And we all do, like, and it's so obvious and straightforward, like, nobody even pauses, nobody even hesitates.
Right. That's just how life is.
Chat's backing us up. We shouldn't be that embarrassed. Chat's backing us up.
I'm looking, because, like, okay, here are the things that we know of him. Does not look like Dwayne The Rock Johnson based on that face cam he did of Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing Slender.
Oh no.
I'm on his wiki right now. He's a wiki, by the way.
Oh yeah, of course.
Apparently he wears glasses.
People cosplay as
LP bot?
Bully Demise. I mean,
okay,
like,
sure.
Somebody made a visual novel about Bully
Let's see,
Demise.
he has glasses. He is confirmed to sometimes wear socks. And he does not drive a Toyota. These are the 3 things that are listed on his. Oh, and that he apparently is from New Jersey.
Oh my god. Look, what I'm saying is if they brought back Goon Love is the best love, we already know what the contest.
Right. Once we play my visual novel, let's play with my heart.
Oh my god. I can't. I haven't been on the wiki, so
I just found it trying to be like, what's some facts about Super Great Friends?
that's a lot.
Ugh.
Remember when nobody said anything about themselves, even a little bit,
Yeah.
and it was all a mystery?
But really, we know the most attractive thing about Super Great Friend is he owns a .moe. And it's just a Tumblr.
His Tumblr is good. I like the answers to the questions. I follow him on Tumblr. That's where people ask him the horny questions, and all of his responses are great.
Now I understand why you're saying that we need to cut this, because it really did derail from what we were talking about.
It
with
really
the boys.
did. It just, now it's just us talking about how we all have a crush on Super Great Friends.
Yeah, that's fine. Anyways, I'm excited to see the end of this game. As far as I can tell, there are only like 4 more choices to make. I think as long as we don't have any more errors, we could just finish it by next time.
Oh, okay. So I really do have to have the next banner image done and stop forgetting about it. I keep forgetting about it, you guys. Tweet me this weekend and ask me if I'm working on the banner.
And I'm gonna tell my router to cut it out. So
yeah. Everybody tweet at Torpsoy's router. Tell him to cut it out.
And then tweet at me. I'm lonely.
Tweet nice things at Torpsoy, and don't nobody narc on us.
All right. Well, it's been fun.
It's time,
I think it's about time that we head out.
I love night and dating.
Yeah.
Anime boys.
Remember, you are the stars. And sweet dreams.